Today's a good day because I have a bunch of laptop accessories that you could use at your desk, or even stuff for your everyday carry that I think a lot of you are going to appreciate. One of the items, the first item I talk about, is sponsored by Best Buy, but I feel like there's something in here that you guys are absolutely going to love. Now, the first item is the SteelSeries Nova 5X. There's three different versions of this, the 5P, the 5X, and the 5. They all look the same, but the X stands for Xbox. But the cool thing about the X version is that it actually works with not only your Xbox, but it works with your laptop, it works with Nintendo, it works with your Steam Deck, it pretty much works with everything. Now, what makes these headphones very special is that it can be connected to your smartphone and your gaming console or PC at the exact same time. So you could have the 2.4 gigahertz dongle connected to your computer or Xbox, and then have the Bluetooth connection directly connected to your phone. So if you're playing a game and someone calls you, it will use the Bluetooth connection, ring in your ears. You can answer the call without having to take off your headset. The one thing that really stood out about these headphones is the battery life, like 60 hours of use. Now that's on Bluetooth, around 35 to 50 hours if you're using the dongle, but overall the battery life has been great. It fast charges so you can get it back quickly, and also there's a retractable microphone. So you can just take this out when you need to use it, but it ends up looking clean when you're not. You have volume controls. You can obviously mute your microphone if you're not using it. It charges via USB Type-C. You have your volume rocker over here, which lets you adjust the volume between your chat or the actual game. And of course, you have a button to turn on or off the device. Now, overall, they feel super comfortable to wear. Like when I have these things on, the little band over here feels nice and soft on the top of my head. But the app experience is what really attracted me to these headphones. The app lets you adjust the equalization settings for either the Bluetooth connection or the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, and they can be completely custom. There's a ton of different profiles, or different games rather, that you can choose from. And I found the overall sound quality to be very, very good. Like I didn't have any problems hearing footsteps in a lot of first-person shooters. Now, for those of you that watch my channel, know that I use the AirTech Travel Pack. I was using the first generation one for like 6 years, for a very long time. I finally upgraded to the 3rd edition, and it's so much nicer. It's softer, the materials are better. The outside has using this Cordura ballistic nylon. It's weather resistant, so if it gets like water or splashes on it, it's not gonna affect the items inside. I just love the pocket setup because you have like a section over here to place your water bottle, and you have a tiny little pocket on the top to quickly access your items. You have a massive front pocket that will hold a bunch of your stuff, plus a little slot over here if you want to put a tablet. And you have a bunch of little dividers inside. This thing actually holds up to a 16-inch laptop. I've actually squished a couple of 17-inch laptops in here, but if you want to keep this in prime condition, I wouldn't go above 16. Either way, it's one of my favorite tech bags. Honestly, haven't been happier with it, and I'll probably stick with this one for another 6 years to come. Now, the Asus ROG Swift QD OLED PG32 UCDM, beautiful name, rolls right off the lips. I am naming my next kid exactly that. Hands down, my favorite monitor. This 32-inch 4K display is absolutely gorgeous. It is the best gaming monitor I have ever used. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. Like 240 hertz, 0.03 millisecond response time. Gaming on this just feels so good. Like it just feels so responsive. And then you watch content on it, and then you have 1000 nits of peak brightness, so HDR looks incredible. You have all the ports you need on the back. You can even just use Type-C if you don't want to use your display port connection. It is hands down the best monitor I've ever used. And it's also 10-bit, so if you plan on using it to create, it's also excellent for that. Now, the mouse of choice has been a tough one for me because I've gone back and forth between a ton over the years. I used the G305, which I loved, and then more recently, over the past few years, I've been using the Razer Click Mini, but now I'm on the Razer Orochi version 2. This is the mouse, at least for me, for travel. This is a travel mouse because it's perfect for gaming, but it's also super light, like very light, that I love it for productivity as well. Now I'm a lefty, so I want it to be a bit more ambidextrous. So, yes, the buttons are on the left-hand side, for, which is better for right-handed people, but it's perfect for what I use it for because it has Bluetooth for when I need Bluetooth, but there's also a 2.4 gigahertz dongle inside of here. It uses one battery, and you can either use a AA battery or a AAA battery, but you can't have them both in here at the exact same time. Honestly, if you're just doing productivity, stick with the Razer Core Click Mini, but if you like to game and you also do productivity, I highly suggest this one instead. Now, this is a brand new edition. I bought this not too long ago with my own money, and this is called the Orbit Hybrid Laptop Sleeve. It looks like a normal laptop sleeve, but it has one special superpower, because when you open it up, you get an actual mat. This is where you'd place the laptop directly in the middle, and then on the right-hand side, you'd have a little mouse pad for your mouse. And because I'm a left-hander, all I have to do is turn it around like this, and I have a left-handed mouse pad instead of a right one. It's a nice little wool material, which is super soft, so it keeps your laptop nice and protected. There's a 14-inch and a 16-inch version. This is obviously the 16-inch version. The laptop feels nice and snug here, like I have a Zephyrus G16 in here, for example. And then the out exterior is using vegan leather. Now, this obviously wouldn't be a best laptop accessories video if I didn't include a GAN charger. It depends what you want. Like if you want all USB Type-C charging ports, then I really highly suggest the Nomad 130 watt charger. So it will charge up to 100 watts using the top one. And then if you place, another one over here, it'll do 30 watts. And if you have all three used, it will do 70, 30, and 30. So this is great if you just want to use Type-C, but this product is just really well built. Now, if you want some USB-A ports, I highly suggest the Razer GAN charger, because that one has a couple of USB-A ports and then 2 USB Type-C ports. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. But personally, I'm a big fan of this one. Now, if you need a portable controller or even a controller for your desk, I highly recommend the 8-bit Do. This thing is awesome. Like, the price is good. It's a little bit smaller than the Xbox controller. It's configurable. You have little paddles on the back, so you don't have to manually put them in yourself. You can either use it with Bluetooth or with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. Like, this works with your PC, this works with a Nintendo Switch, it works with your Xbox, the list goes on. But the buttons are fantastic. The battery life is fantastic. It's rechargeable by using this beautiful little recharge stand where you just plug it in like this, it recharges, and you're ready to go. And the dongle fits underneath here if you want to keep it hidden. And then of course you can just use the Type-C cable to connect it to your device. Honestly, I like this controller better than the regular Xbox controller. It makes a great travel controller, and the price of this is actually pretty good. Now, this is the Skyhynix Tube Stick. It's an SSD. It gets about 1,000 megabytes a second read and write, so it's fast enough to edit video, which is what I bought it for. And I started using this over my old SSD enclosure, the SanDisk G40 Pro. The G40 Pro is more durable, it's faster, but this is just smaller. It has no cables. You just take off the top lid and then you plug it into a USB port. I prefer this because if I'm sitting on a plane on the table, I don't have to have an external drive dangle off of it with a cable connected. This just sticks out of the side and I'm good to go. The only thing I don't like about it, and so far I've had zero problems, is that the encasing is just like typical plastic. I don't feel like it's as durable as the G40 Pro that I was using. And you can only spec this up to 1 terabyte. Now, 1 terabyte is enough. I would have loved 2, but for travel for 4 or 5 days where I don't need as much storage, I think this is gonna be okay. Now, 2 honorable mentions. If you're traveling a lot, please use a VPN, especially if you're in a public place or if you're in an airport. Trust me, I've seen too many people's devices get compromised, including potentially my own. I'm just a lot smarter. I'm ahead of those people, right? I'm connected. So I never got hacked, but I've seen people got hacked if they're trying to handle sensitive information in a public space. Now, this is not sponsored. I'll place the one I'm using in the description down below. I'm not getting any money from it, but just use a VPN. I do not care which one. The other thing to consider is this mini USB-C to A dongle. I can't tell you how many times that I needed to connect a USB-A device to a Type-C port. Sometimes you'll never need them, but when you do, they're in your pocket. You gotta think of these things like condoms. It's there when you need it. So that wraps up my best laptop accessory / EDC, depending on how you look at it or which product you want. I'll place links to all of these products in the description down below. If you have any questions, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.